graphing absolute value functions. So graphing absolute value functions, first let's understand sort of what the general shape of that function is going to look like. And you can see that here in our red graph right here. It's going to be a V. Now, here's the reason why it's going to be a V. So let's just type it in again real quick. So y is equal to the absolute value of x. So just going over that, okay? And the way it works, it's great if we take a look at its table. So let's take a look at the table. Whenever you put in a negative value, it's going to spit out a positive value. So negative 2 becomes positive 2. Negative 1 becomes positive 1. But then all the positive values will also stay positive. So that's why it gives us that V shape. Now, the next thing I want to point over is just sort of the general form of what this, or how this works. So it's very similar to like point slope form, more specifically that Desmos point slope form we talked about, if you remember that, where we have y equals m times the absolute value of x minus x sub 1 plus y sub 1. Now here's the deal. That x sub 1 and that y sub 1, that is our starting point. That is this vertex thing that we have here. So now with this being said, let's try to graph this. All right. Now, what we have to do is with the x coordinate, we need to flip it. It's always going to be the opposite, but the y coordinate is going to be exactly what we expect it to be. So based off what I'm seeing here, I need to move this to the point 5, 2, because my x is, it's minus 5 for the x, so I do the opposite. The y is plus 2. So now I move my vertex right there. Great. Now for this part right here, the negative 1, that's my slope. So I'm going to use that. Now, when we were dealing with a straight line, you could either you could go like down 1 over 1 like that, which is what we can do. But we also learned that you could go up 1 to the left. You had two ways. As you can see, that one doesn't work. So when you're doing the slope, you need to do the slope to the right-hand side. So to the right, it's negative 1. But then to the left of my vertex, it's going to be the opposite of that, which is positive 1. And there we go. That's how I got it. Now, let me get rid of this. Let's hit this. Let's get something else. Okay, I like this. This looks so good. Okay, so here, looking at this one, my point is going to be 3, 1. So that's where I have to start. That's where I got to start it. So my vertex there. And then my slope is negative 2.5. And if you think about that as a fraction, that's negative 5 over 2. So that means I have to go down 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 2. Oops. There we go. And that's how that works. Again, I want to do negative 5 over 2 to the right. And then to the left, I would do positive 5 over 2 if I was graphing this by hand. And that way it mirrors itself. Let's do one more example here. Let's try to get a good one here. Ooh, okay, I like this. All right, so, no, I don't like that. Let's get something different. Okay, so here, this, let's see, can I do better? Can I do better? Can I do better? Can I do better? All right, now I'm just getting greedy. Okay, I'll take this one. It's a little funky. Why not go with it? So it's supposed to be x minus negative 1. And so what that would become is x plus 1. So as a result, my x coordinate should be at negative 1. My y coordinate is going to be at negative 3. So this is just because this is kind of a little derpy thing I made. But it would be presented to you as x plus 1. So you have to go to the negative 1 part for the x and negative 3. So that's where our vertex is. My slope is negative 4/3. So again, I'm going to go use it to the right. So go down 4 over 3. There we go. And that's it. That's how we graph these. And had it been positive 4/3, then I just have to go up 4 over 3 to the right, and that would work out. But here it was negative, so it didn't quite work that way. Again, that's how we go about graphing our absolute value functions. It's all about starting at this point right here, where you change the sign on your x coordinate, you keep the sign on the y, and then you use the slope on the right-hand side.